into the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
It's a slow build today.
Really? Right here?
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Okay. Let's go. Hey.
Give it a second, people. It's coming.
We like the suspense.
Yes. Leading up to the episode.
Ooh.
Wait for it.
Almost there.
Really? Oh, we doing this?
We're doing it. Oh, boy.
Well, it was
Not
supposed to
much
be
longer.
Rihanna's work, but I don't think this is the song. This is the commercial, actually. Yeah, this is not the song. But no, it's good.
Do you want me to sing it for you?
Let me see you work. Let me see you work. Well, we wanted to do a girl song because, as you see, it's the all ladies panel tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for episode 7 of Shades of Blue. This is the after show. So I am Erica Jaye Green. You can catch me on all social media at Erica Jaye Green, Jaye. And to my left, I have Samantha Benitz.
Yep. Hi, guys. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Samantha_Benitz.
And Miaria Jennings.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miaria Jennings.
Yes, and if you did not see our last week's episode with the hilarious, wasn't he funny?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, great energy.
Antonio Jaramillo.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm glad you said it because I was like, Antonio
I got you.
Hamida. No, but he was hilarious to
He
play
was
such
funny.
a serious character as Espada.
Yeah.
I'm stuck at names right now.
But
Zepeda.
Yeah, he was just such a great guest. So
He
Yeah,
was.
he
love to have him back.
Thanks so much for coming on.
So we're gonna jump right into it. As you see, Brandon is not here.
Thank you.
Better late than never, right?
All right.
Intermission for a dance party. Okay. Oh, don't hurt him. This song is appropriate for this episode, though,
Very.
right?
A lot of work was done, right?
Oh my gosh. Waz is trying to kill Saperstein, but we'll get into that
Yes.
later on. Let's just start at the beginning with
Yes.
Saperstein laying on the ground, pretty much. And Waz is trying to act like he actually cares. He runs down there and makes a big scene. Oh my gosh.
Should we recap last week really quick for just in case?
Definitely.
All right, so
Recap.
just to make sure we all know where we left off. Harlee convinced Saul to arrest Saperstein in order to keep him safe because now Waz thinks that Saperstein is the rat. But Saperstein escapes from the feds, which causes a whole nother problem. Meanwhile, Loman's name is released as the killer of the man, so that completely taints his relationships with the guy's family. So talk about the ultimate cock block right there. No more. That is done. We finally see Joe. Joe makes an appearance, Tessa's husband,
fine.
so that was nice to see a little view of Joe, as Brandon would say. He was very pleased. And then Christina actually finds out that Miguel, her father, has been trying to contact her for years, and Harlee's been hiding the letters. But Harlee goes ahead and tells Christina that he's not really her father and that he was abusive, so that's why she doesn't want him talking to her. And that opens up a whole nother can of worms. Meanwhile, Miguel actually reaches out to Harlee because he still trusts her and tells her that he thinks this other man, Frank Kovach, was responsible for the murder that he is now in prison for. So Harlee has to kind of take care of that situation because she doesn't want Miguel to get out. So the team goes to follow up on that lead. It ends in a whole intense fight on the top of this building. And how does it end? Man, Waz, ruthless man right there. He actually kills Frank Kovach and pushes Saperstein off the side of the building. So we think he's dead. Right at the end, he takes a breath And Waz is not happy, so that's where we're left off.
Oh my gosh. It might have ended with Waz, but it definitely all of this started with Harlee.
Yes.
And the lies and the balls rolling. I think we saw that she finally is understanding the effect of all her lies, or what it's doing to her family.
Right.
I'm gonna say that really loosely, because the
Yeah.
way they're acting with each other, I'm just like, what kind of family?
Right. The precinct is imploding, I feel like.
Yes.
Oh my God. So we started out this episode with Sap lying on the ground, everyone running to his help. Obviously, he's still alive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Waz is not too happy about that. So Waz is, in his diabolical planning again, trying to figure out what to do after that. So what did y'all think about all of that? Waz trying to act like he cared about Sap being dead or lying on the ground thinking that he was dead.
He's about killing that rat, and at any means necessary. I feel like you just saw his ruthlessness and also his audacity and just doing whatever is important to him and to cover his own, in this episode. It just does not matter. He will take any means necessary, and clearly he is about doing what is best for him. He did mention that he wanted to do what was best for Harlee, Christina, and Linda, his wife, as well. So, I mean, he's acting like he's really caring for the group, but I feel like his actions on this episode kind of showed otherwise.
Mm-hmm. And talk about by any means necessary. I think our boy Brandon couldn't make it, but he found a way to join us by any means necessary. Didn't he? Brandon, can you hear us? All right.
I was not missed this week. Now I have to say I've been busy all day with a family event, so I've not been able to watch the episode. I'm literally racing in the car going 75 right now through an Arizona country road to make it home just to watch this episode.
I gotta see that.
I cannot wait to find out what is going on with Waz. And
Crazy.
after the whole debacle last week, he is trying to set a rat trap, and it backfired on him. So I'm excited to see and hear what you guys say. I'm going to listen to the rest of the recap on the way home, just so I'm caught up and I have something to look forward to when I turn on that TV. But give me a little bit of something. What should I know or look for from this episode?
We don't want to give it away because it's a lot that goes on in this
It's a
episode,
lot,
especially
but
with Waz.
major spoilers.
How about this? How about you tell us what you think Waz is going to do, and then we'll see if you're right when we recap. How about that?
Okay, so we're getting into an early prediction. I think Waz is going to try to do something to him in the hospital, but I think that there might be a twist, and from falling and hitting his head, I don't think he's going to remember what happened. I think that's the way they're gonna fix the situation.
Interesting.
So I'll be curious to see what you guys say when I listen on my way home, because there's something there. There's a loose end that wasn't tied, especially if he's still alive in the hospital. I'll be shocked if he dies in the hospital, just because it was kind of a bold move to keep him still alive. That fool fell a few floors. So for him to still be kicking is important to the episode and to the rest of the season, I think. So you guys won't give me any good information.
You think?
But that's
All right. Well, I guess you'll have to wait and listen and see if
Am
you're
I
right.
close on any? Am I close on any
I'm not
account?
saying anything.
Our lips are sealed.
You're going to have to be just as shocked as we were when you watch it. Just as shocked as we were. Like,
Oh
crazy.
my God, you guys aren't throwing me no sort of bone.
Nothing.
But I am so excited that I could call in and be a part of it with you guys. I cannot wait to hear how the rest of the episode goes. I'll be getting to be a fan tonight instead of be there hosting with you, which makes me sad. But I am excited to listen.
You're here in
Thank you,
spirit.
Brandon. We can't wait to have you back.
Feel you.
I know,
Spirit.
you're
Well, I
here
will
in
see you
spirit for
guys
sure.
next week. Keep killing it, and I can't wait to see how it turns out. I will
Thanks.
let you guys know online what I thought.
Drive
All
safe
right,
over there.
bye.
Bye,
All
Brandon.
right, bye,
Fun.
bye, ladies. Have fun.
Bye.
Look at our teamwork.
Teamwork.
makes the
Squad
dream work.
goals.
I mean,
Yes.
speaking of teamwork, doesn't it look like their team is kind of crumbling?
Oh boy.
For sure. Especially from Tufo's point of view. Saperstein is his best friend, his brother, his bro, and he is the main one who's skeptical of everything. So that really shows you how much they can't trust each other anymore.
Exactly.
It was interesting that they showed how devastated he was originally when he sees Saperstein on the floor, dead practically, and he's just in tears. But then he immediately goes into covering all the tracks and making sure that everything is taken care of. And furthermore, even goes and investigates Saperstein's house, which is interesting because it shows that maybe there is a trust issue there that may have not been seen originally.
Yeah, to me, I was like, this is my problem with their relationships. They're really quick to throw each other, not give each other the benefit of the doubt. So your friend is lying in a hospital fighting for his life, and the thing you think about doing is, hustling his mother.
I know.
Right.
Oh.
And then going through his stuff while he's in the hospital. That's the last thing on my mind if someone I love is laying up in the hospital.
Right.
Yeah, fighting for their life.
Exactly. So I'm like, this close-knit family, I think we're starting to see, it's starting to unfold that they're not as close as we might think they are.
And are their relationships really built on that bond, that real bond, or is it just simply built on the fact that they have stuff to hide?
Yep.
It's interesting. I'm really interested to see how that's going to unfold by the end. Like, because Waz is making it seem like he's doing all this for the family.
Yes.
Oh man, I'm gotta go after Sap because it's you and da da da. And Harlee, you know what? I'm sorry, she's not a victim to me anymore. At first, I felt sad. Oh, she has to do this for her daughter. I can't believe she's been put in this position. But she's just as bad as Waz.
She's in deep.
Exactly. To allow all of this to happen, instead of being like, okay, hey, you know what? This has to stop. Too many lives. As soon as he fell off the thing, I would have been like, this is it. That's the last straw.
Yeah, you got to find a way to fix that.
And
But
crazy.
go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll add
I
in
just
later.
wanted to go back really quick to talk about Tufo, like we were talking about. So the papers that he found, I'm wondering, were those planted there, or
That's what
did
we're
he
talking
really
about.
have them?
If any of the viewers caught that, Tufo found papers in Sap's room that were
Immunity
exempting
papers,
him, immunity
Right.
papers from the FBI. And didn't they just apprehend him?
Right.
Like,
Yes.
prior to him running off. So that day that he got hurt, they just apprehended him. So, but in my mind, I was thinking, was he another rat that was planted?
Shoot, I don't know.
Potentially. There
How
may
many
be more
rats?
than one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's a good question, because obviously he had, I don't know, it's so complicated.
Yeah.
And the FBI is powerful. I feel like if they want to infiltrate and take down like any business, they'll go in and they do their research, like even showing with the other things that they bring up tonight regarding Miguel Zepeda. I mean, Stahl and Molly Chen are on their game.
Yeah.
And so they're pretty much following this, rat chase here, and they're winning in terms right now. But I always feel like the cops are a few steps ahead just because they're kind of acting as they go and just out of emotion. Like nothing really seems too rationalized. I just feel like everything is kind of cold and unpremeditated at this point. So it's interesting.
With them, but who seems to have her stuff together to me is Gail. The head of the FBI. She, I don't know if she intentionally came to that meeting to put it in Waz's head that was the rat, kind of throw her off of Harlee.
Right.
They're really just taking us, the writers are really taking us everywhere, and I enjoy that about this show, that we really don't know exactly, we can't pinpoint exactly what's going on.
Right.
Of course, Waz is like, I'm sorry, y'all, I already mentioned this. He just looks like a bomb about to explode.
Yeah, man, he's a scary guy.
And he looks stressed out these days. I felt like the blood, by his ear, and his hair was stressed out, just poofed up. I'm like, man, this guy's going through it right now. And you can tell he's having an internal battle, with the decisions he's feeling like he has to make.
Do you think he is struggling with the little
He
alligator
looks like
tears? Come on now.
Yeah, that moment I was a little questionable.
It's hard for me to trust.
I'm not convinced.
But yeah, I feel like he does love those around him, but he just can't stop himself from making the decisions that he feels like will keep him out of prison. So ultimately, he's like, as long as I'm good, I feel like that's his biggest concern.
They're gonna really have to watch Waz. One thing I did want to touch on is Stahl confronting now he's following the case. Now this is where it's becoming bigger than what they initially thought it was about. Now they're following what Harlee put her ex-boyfriend in jail. Now they're going to be following this case. So if that blows open, that's going to, put her in all types of trouble. You can't wrongly convict anybody, even if, he beat her, and that's wrong. But she's going to have some flack for that. So what do y'all think about that? And Stahl going on that path and veering off of, I don't know. Do you think he's just doing that, to more pry into Harlee's life, or he's really trying to get to the bottom of what's going on in this precinct?
Well, first of all, we all know Stahl is a real life creep.
Crazy.
We got to start off with that. This man has some issues, but I really think that, like you said, that's going to develop way more into this storyline. Harlee doesn't even know that they are investigating the whole Miguel Zepeda case and kind of following those leads, she just thinks that she's still an informant and they're still following Waz. Now that they're suspecting both Waz and Harlee in corruption, well, actually, I take that back. They just think that Waz framed Miguel. So she's still kind of in the clear for now.
They're gonna have to make that connection.
They will.
She's like an accessory.
For sure. So I don't know. That's gonna blow things up huge. I think that's gonna be so crazy.
Yeah, and it's interesting because the special agent Baker was having the conversation with Stahl, and she was shooting the gun, mentioning how this is going to be even bigger than a police payoff. This is going to be monumental. So I feel like they know the hugeness of what they're dealing with, and Stahl even went in and talked to Miguel Zepeda, and it's clear that Frank Kovac, kind of, his name came up, and he was one of the men who died in this whole altercation. So I feel like they're totally onto each other. Miguel's kind of onto Stahl also, because he mentions, like, calm down with your crush. I can see it from here. So
who cannot see that?
I mean, who isn't attracted to Harlee at this point? I'm like, join the club, buddy.
I just don't think Stahl does a very good job of hiding his feelings for Harlee at all, which is so unprofessional. Can someone
that man
please
is
note
unprofessional.
That? Exactly. I found it interesting the part where Waz goes and he pleads with Harlee about, Harlee pleads with Waz not to kill Sap, even though she's the one who initially got him in that position, lying on a deathbed. What do y'all think about that whole scene with Waz crocodile tears? She's like, "Oh no, I'll do it. I'll do it for you, Harlee. Everything is for you, Harlee."
Right. I honestly thought that was going to be the point when Harlee was going to say, "Look, don't kill him. I got to tell you, I'm working with the feds. I have no choice, but let's just turn this around right now. Help me out. I'll help you out. We can get out of this." That's what I thought. But she still just couldn't take responsibility. And now, come on. There's no way she believed that Waz was really going to back off. Really?
Yeah.
You've got to. No.
Yeah.
I would have, honestly, I think as hard as it would have been, I would have just said, listen, I gotta come clean. This is the situation. Let's work together to try to figure it out. But she let him die. She let that happen. I'm sorry. That was all Harlee in this episode.
Exactly. And my thing is, what is her breaking point?
Right.
What is it going to take for her to finally be like, this is it. Let me confess. Let me bring this all to light. Just shut down the whole precinct. Is it worth lives?
Right.
Is my question.
I think she'll eventually get to that point. I feel like something really crazy is going to happen, but I know, as if nothing crazy. Exactly. I know it's hard to caught into some next level stuff, but nonetheless, I do feel like the bond that they have, Harlee owes some allegiance to Waz because 10 years ago he may have helped her, frame Miguel Zepeda and send him to prison. So I feel like now that the roles are reversed and she kind of has the chance to frame Waz, she feels bad because he was there for her, ready to, cover up her tracks easily, and now when it's her turn to do the same, she's like, oh boy. And furthermore, he's showing her that he trusts her by admitting that he did push Saperstein off the ledge, and to me now she's like, oh, he trusted me with that truth, so how do I go about this, because he was there for me, and what happens if I turn on him? Will he turn on me regarding Miguel Zepeda later on? So I'm not sure what will come, but something's gonna happen. You're totally right about a breaking point occurring.
I agree with you, because I think Waz is playing this so well. As crazy as he is, he's diabolical, because I wouldn't be surprised if he had leverage on every single person in the precinct. How do we know that he didn't do the whole Zepeda thing just to have that over her?
Right.
Just because he knew it could come back on him. He knew, when you're dealing with shady business, there's a chance that you can get caught, caught up in it. So how do we know he didn't just do all of that? He's acting like he did it because he cares. He cares. He says that so much.
Yes.
How much I care about you. From what we see,
actions speak louder than words.
I'm not buying it anymore.
I'm really keeping my eye on him, especially with the scene in the hospital.
That was intense when he was whispering to Saperstein when he was asleep.
Not only that scene, but the bomb.
Oh yeah, and originally sending him into cardiac arrest even by saying, I'm going to kill you twice. You can just tell he may have still been even conscious under there, so I felt like that was a really pivotal scene to show that Saperstein knew what he was up against, and Waz is somebody not to be messed with. And if he says he's going to kill you, he's going to do anything, to make that happen.
Goodness gracious.
Oof. And it shows that as well when, in the later hospital scene when we saw him even bring the explosives. We all looked at each other like,
I'm just glad you did not blow up that hospital. All
like
the
it's
little
not that
sick
serious.
kids and all the people. No.
Pump the brakes. Yeah.
I was so scared when that nurse was opening the bag. It's like,
oh, I know. I'm like,
please
she's gonna
don't
lose her hands on top of her life. Like, bless her
but
heart.
like you said, Erica, he thought that out. Mm-hmm. He had that plan to a T. Get everybody, chaos going. Nobody's going to be paying attention, and slip right on in there and get the job done.
Yep.
Oh, how cold.
Evacuate the whole hospital.
It's not fun.
Do you
Cold
guys think
guy.
they're going to have that on camera, though? Like, don't they have surveillance in hospitals? Potentially. I feel like they do, but maybe they don't. You
But
know?
will that be brought up in this situation?
I don't think so.
But if they see him
that'll
drop
mess
the
it
bag
up.
there and they're like, that was a suspicious package, potentially. I don't know. I'm hoping they
might.
have some cameras in that hospital. But
I just worry that if they find out he put that there, it'll. But I mean, the writers, I'm sure they have everything under control. So I don't need to worry. But I'm just like, I don't think they can find out anytime soon. Mm-hmm. Because that'll just be too soon. And then it's like, why did Waz put that bomb there? Well, he was trying to kill somebody. So,
right. You're right. It's got to work it off a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just skipped one thing. Harlee goes and talks to Zepeda in the penitentiary. Mm-hmm. And she's feeding him more lies, as Harlee, as we see, she repetitive. She does that all the time, and she's trying to convince him. Y'all know I stepped out to the restroom for a little bit. So what is going to happen during that?
She basically, he actually was saying, I trusted you and you let this guy die. He's like, did I trust the wrong person? She's just feeding him more. Right. But, she plays it off real good, that Harlee.
Yeah.
She's like, oh no, grabs his hand. I did everything I could.
Yeah, I want to see the good Miguel get out in a few years and we'll just work this all out. But you can see Miguel is kind of like heartbroken and he looks like he really is coming to terms with what he feels he did in the relationship poorly and how he wants to be like a better man and a better father. So I kind of felt like what Antonio told us last week regarding Miguel, saying that he wanted to be this better father figure, is really true. And I felt like I saw that in that scene because he really wants to just be there for Harlee and kind of just be truthful about the whole situation and maybe change Harlee's viewpoint on him when really Harlee probably knows that he didn't do it all along. So it's kind of a tricky situation.
Now, I have a question when it comes to that. When we see that Stahl and Molly Chen find the woman who was killed, her friend.
Rita, right?
Rita's friend, yeah. Do you think that Harlee set that up or do you think Waz set that up? Because obviously she's hiding something.
Yeah.
Obviously she recognized Frank, and I think she's hiding. You think it was Waz and not
Waz
Harlee?
is the mastermind of all of this. And he uses, what did they say? He used fear and intimidation.
Right.
Or gratitude, they said that he uses. Of course, I don't know what he had over her. It looks like fear because she was like, I'm not even going to look at the picture.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to even look at the picture. But to me, it had me thinking in the back of my mind when we were talking about Zepeda, Harlee's no better than him.
Right.
I mean, you set a man up. You're lying. You're constantly lying. You're lying to your own daughter. I just don't really see. I'm starting really not to see the good in the character now.
Right.
And her being the main star, I wonder how they're going to get us back to seeing her as the light.
Exactly.
Seeing her as the person that we can go, that you want to root for. Because right now I'm like.
It's looking like a wolf in a sheep's clothing.
Right, yeah. And she even tells Nava over there, a little man candy Nava,
who admits his
nothing for
feelings
me.
today.
She's like, I'm a bad person. She claims it, so I don't know. I'm just starting to wonder about her motives when it comes to Miguel too, because it's like, okay, 10 years later, what is really the problem with him getting out? Is it only because you will get caught because you framed him, or is it really because you're scared of him?
That's
At
a
this
good
point,
question.
I think she's just trying to save
Cover
her
her tracks.
reputation. Yeah, I don't think it's even about him and being scared or threatened. So you're right. I'm wondering about her character now.
Yeah.
And when you said that, it makes me think, does Zepeda know more than we even know? Does he have something on Waz? Does he know information on Harlee and Waz that's the reason he ended up in there? Maybe is there something more to the reason why?
He knows something because Harlee didn't want Christina to even go near him. So I feel like he does have some sort of information that may be detrimental to the relationships of somebody. I'm not sure who.
Well, do you, now that you say that, I'm kind of wondering, do you think it has to do with the whole situation? Last week we saw that Harlee tells Christina, oh, Miguel's not your real father. So why, I'm just trying to put these pieces together, so bear with me. Why do you think she wouldn't want Christina to go talk to Miguel? Do you think it has to do with her father, or do you think it has to do with maybe something that Harlee did that she doesn't want Christina to know about? I mean, with
everything going on, honestly, I don't think Harlee wants people to find out who she really is.
Right.
She doesn't want her daughter to know the person she really is. She doesn't even want to come to copes with the person that she really is. And you can see that internal struggle even in the beginning whenever she went to lay down by Sap and everything started swirling, and that was just her coping with everything going on and the magnitude of the situation just getting out of hand.
Totally.
So I'm just, I'm not the girl. I ain't got her back right now. Harlee, I'm sorry. J-Lo.
And it's so interesting that all these guys in her life are protecting her. Even ADA, Nava, she's telling him, you're not going to like me later on. Stahl is kind of protecting her in some way. Waz is protecting her. Zepeda is protecting her. So I feel like she just has a force of men just utilizing all their resources.
Okay.
playing like a fiddle.
I mean, if you got it, get it. Okay.
Oh my God.
Well, before we wrap it up and get to predictions, I'm really curious now, what is this big plan that's going down?
Right.
He still has all the explosives. Obviously, they managed to keep them hidden from the FBI. So I'm really interested, what could they possibly be doing with all of these explosives? And you're a cop, so when... terrorists use stuff like that. When do you step out of... How did Waz get that lost?
Right.
To be doing, to do something of this magnitude. Does Waz even know what's going on with this?
I don't know. Because we see that scene when, after, Gail comes into the room earlier in the episode, and then the meeting's over, and Donnie kind of comes up to him, and he's like, oh, well, she thinks they have the rat, so let's just, or we have the rat, so let's move forward with the operation. It's like, what in the world? I don't know if Waz even knows what. I feel like Donnie is the head of it. Yeah. Do you guys get that? Like, he's running the thing, and Waz is like his main goon.
Yeah, or his scapegoat.
Or his,
because why would you be pushing
he's
so
not getting
much?
any of the heat.
Yep.
And everything going on, you want to still push this right now? Somebody is lying in the hospital, almost dying, if he wasn't already dead now. Waz killing him. But I was just, But what are y'all predictions?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
This can go always.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start.
We're going to start with...
I'm going to say Miguel is going to get out, and someone's going to find out that Harlee is involved. I don't know how. I don't know if she's going to tell somebody, but it's like somebody has to find out, because they can't kill another. Waz can't suspect someone else and then kill them too until the whole crew is gone.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. She's got to tell somebody. She has to ask for help. Anything, Yeah. So I don't know. That's my prediction.
Okay. I'm going to guess Saperstein's death is going to be investigated further, and they're going to really look into that and kind of see who did what and if there was any misconduct and why the room was totally left alone, because there was supposed to be an FBI agent there kind of watching everything. So he rolled out, obviously, because there was explosives, but I feel like they're going to definitely check that out. And yeah, I'm feeling like that's going to be the main thing that they're going to have to focus on. But I also feel like Christina is going to either go visit Miguel Zepeda again, because she kind of needs to know more. She played a smaller role this episode, so I feel like she's going to come back. And also Tufo, I'm feeling like they're going to check him out, because he's Saperstein's partner.
That's a good one.
And he kind of had a little bit of misconduct this episode with the girl that Saperstein was seeing, and furthermore, how he went and investigated his own partner's house. So I feel like they're going to be checking around him as well.
Those are good. I think, and I wouldn't be surprised with me saying this, if there are more than one rat in the precinct. And that's why we have these characters that don't have mainstream lines. That's their intent of being here. So I wouldn't be surprised. So don't quote me on it.
I hope they do that, because that would really be crazy, right?
Too,
that would
right?
shake things up. Because Harlee wouldn't even know. And
I got something.
let us know.
And Tessa's husband is working with the FBI. Because I'm trying to think to myself, why are these characters, why have they been repeatedly put in the episodes, not really big storylines behind them?
Right.
And that's the only thing I could think. And then with the papers being found in Sap's room, I'm like, okay, wait. We could think it's a setup, or he could have been, they said 2 weeks ago, why would they make it a point to say that? They couldn't have hid those papers 2 weeks ago knowing that they were going to pick them up.
Yeah, very suspicious.
I'm just saying.
That's crazy.
I wouldn't be
That would throw us
surprised.
for a loop.
Yeah. So let's get to some comments and some tweets about the show.
Yes. Okay, so we have Joral Bisainth. I hope I'm saying that correctly. If you were in J-Lo's position, would you let Waz know the FBI was on his tail? So that's a good question. Mrs. J. Reed, 04. Now, this was my favorite episode, hands down. Drown Deep, our OG commenter, thank you for always staying in the loop. He says, yes, this episode had the meat, the potatoes, and the biscuits. Hashtag I'm full.
All right.
A little
whole
homage
meal.
to Brandon there.
Yes.
And then AJ Kerbal said, Shades of Blue keeps getting better with each passing episode. I really hope this show is getting renewed for a third season.
Wow.
And Drown Deep said, one more thing. Why was Waz able to kill Saperstein like that? Finger snap. The reason being is because there is no honor among thieves. Once you dance with the devil, you might as well have a roll of quarters for the jukebox, because the dance never ends.
He's a clever.
Yeah, he's a good
guy.
writer over there. That's why we have Loman and Julie Chen characters to keep us, Molly Chen, I know where you're going with there, to keep us on the other side of that line. That's why you have the juxtaposition between Loman and Tufo and Chen versus Stahl. And if you look at Harlee, you can see what a you-know-what storm it causes when you go down that road. All Harlee does is lie. SMH, meaning shaking my head. But she has no choice.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I'm not, that's a cop-out. I'm not going to say that.
I think Harley's just digging herself in a hole that's going to be
Tough to
way,
get
way,
out.
way too deep. I feel like at this point, you already have a lot of L's on your side. Take them and try to find help.
Yeah.
Everything's going to get worse from here. I don't know what she's expecting at this
Not gonna have
point.
enough men,
Does she think
so.
she's going to get out of this?
No, I have no idea what's going on in Harlee's head.
Right.
And I appreciate that, from a viewer watching the
Right,
show.
yeah.
But it's just like she's like all over the place. She just can't come clean to herself. So how is she going to be able to come clean with everyone else?
Right.
So with some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So I haven't watched this video yet, but apparently J-Lo was twerking it on the Jimmy Fallon
did.
show. So check out that on YouTube. I heard it was hilarious. Y'all saw it, and
Oh, yeah.
it was funny. I guess.
She goes in. She plays a tween named Gabby, and she's, of course, acting next to Jimmy Fallon, who plays his memorable ew role, and she gets totally into it. The song Work comes on from Rihanna, which we were trying to play in the beginning of the episode, and girl gets down.
Wow.
Yes, she did.
I'm sure that's
I sent
nice.
the clip. I'm so sad we can't show it, but
Y'all check it out. They
Yeah,
can
check it out.
Yeah.
I love those. Yeah.
Also, J-Lo has a new fragrance called J-Love that debuted in Brazil. I have an accent that doesn't allow me to say certain words. But anyway. And also, you can live tweet at @AskJLo, hashtag #AskJLo. And she actually has answered some tweets back. I've been on her Twitter and she's answering them back. And you could tweet the cast at hashtag #ShadesOfBlue.
That's good. I'm going to be tweeting them, asking some questions.
Yeah,
this
we
week.
should do that.
We should. J-Lo, please,
We
if
have
you're
a lot of
watching,
questions.
Can you
Give
call
us some
in?
answers, please.
Hashtag #AskJLo. Can you call in? Well,
nice.
thank you for hanging out with us. Do check out our last week's episode because it was crazy, crazy good. And tune into us next week. I'm Erica Jaye Green. You can find me on all social media, Erica Jaye Green, Jaye. Samantha Benitz.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Samantha_Benitz.
Miaria Jennings.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miaria Jennings. See you guys next time.
Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.